Shalum. Shalom and welcome. Welcome to the White Rose Family Channel. If you're tuning in for the first time, my name is Symmanayah, and these are the words I am compelled to present before an awakening set-apart nation, consisting of both Hebrews and Gentiles that are grafted together under the national banner of Yashar'al. Now, I'm not saying the Gentiles become Hebrews. I'm saying we're brought together as a set-apart nation under the banner of Yashar'al, just to make myself clear. Before I get into this message that I believe is connected to the final Exodus and important to these end times, I want to say that the views expressed in these messages do not reflect the views of the owners, managers, shareholders, and or sponsors of this media platform. With that said, let's get started. This is part 2 of a series that is centered around magnifying the awareness that there are 3 major promises, end-time promises that the Almighty Father has made: discipline, vengeance, and wrath. And it is my belief, O Yashar'al, that depending on our state of mind, our state of spirit, as these things come about, our perceptions and definition and how we respond to these 3 promises will be centered around our maturity level and our level to discern that these promises are a part of the Almighty Father's plan. So in this segment that is centered around discipline, vengeance, and wrath, I want to bring to your attention the words thirsty, hungry, ready. Thirsty, hungry, ready. And you will see that I have enlarged the name Yahuah, and I have stated how the name Yahusha represents Yahuwah's word and the name in which he wants us to refer to his spirit, as is stated in John 14:26. His spirit. So when we talk about Yahusha, we talk about the word of Yahuah, how we are restored into fellowship by being drawn by the Almighty Father Yahuah, who is spirit everywhere at all times, to his word, which is represented by the name Yahusha. No Trinity. By saying Yahusha, we acknowledge the process, the plan that the Almighty Father has set forth for our redemption, for our salvation. With that said, let's get into this subject matter. Come with me. Let's visit Matthew chapter 5, verse 43 through 45. My brothers and sisters, I want you to hear these words and hear them carefully, prayerfully. For there are many teachings out there that will lead you to believe, okay, all the set-apart Yashar'al will be gathered before the physical return of Yahusha, those who believe in the final Exodus. And they think everybody that's set apart and physically alive. They forget that the scriptures tell us there will be martyrs for Yahusha's name. They forget that the scriptures tell us some will fall away. They forget that the scriptures inform us that some will be seduced, misled, and influenced. But know this, O Yashar'al, the promises of the Almighty Father will come to be. Let me read this, and I'm going to say some more on this. Matthew 5, 43 through 45. You heard that it was said, you should love your neighbor. But I say to you, love your enemies. Bless those cursing you, do good to those hating you, and pray for those insulting you and persecuting you, so that you become sons of your Father in the heavens, because he makes the sun rise on the wicked and on the good, and sends rain on the righteous and on the unrighteous. My brothers and sisters, the babe in this set-apart walk, the unmature, those still on milk, even those that are on meat, we stumble, we will fall. Oftentimes, if we're judging by outward appearance, if we're treating people based off of outward appearance, we may fail to recognize that person we think is our enemy is a brother. That person that's cursing us might be a brother or sister that's unlearned. Doing good, loving your enemies, my brothers and sisters, is sharing the love that the Almighty Father has. It's not being passive nor docile. Love does what's best. What's best, sometimes it's to embrace, sometimes it's to come away, sometimes to give, sometimes to receive, sometimes to purge. Love is doing what is best. And in even some cases, we see where the Almighty Father wiped out nations for the love of his children. Bless those cursing you. Let them know that you may bless them by giving them food at times or water. Doing what is good in the eyes of the Almighty Father as he directs you. Because sometimes those cursing you, again, might be the brother or sister that's unlearned, that's immature, or confused by all the misconceptions and misinterpretations of scriptures. Sometimes we may not know that is a babe. But let us treat him as Abba Yahuah treats us. It's doing what is good in the sight of the Almighty Father. Again, doesn't mean be passive. I have seen many people just ignore this passage because they do not understand it. But I say to you, my brothers and sisters, we will learn. We will learn the life in the passage as the Almighty Father works in us and through us. He says here, he makes the sun shine, his sun rise on the wicked and on the good. He sends rain on the righteous and on the righteous. Know this, O Yashar'al, as end times ramp up, there are people that would have you believe that we're going to all be saved that are Israelites or Hebrew Israelites. That's not true. Not all Israel is of Israel, and many don't realize that in this awakening that is occurring, some are resting with just knowing that they are Hebrew, or as some would say, Hebrew Israelite, not recognizing the need to seek the spirit within, the spirit without, he who is almighty, that is drawing them to himself, to his word, Yahusha. Do you think that the earthquakes, famine and pestilence and disease, tsunamis, wars and rumors of war, do you think that not one brother or sister will be caught up in the midst of that? Some of us will be in the midst of it, and we will learn. We will be disciplined by the Almighty Father, and we will know how to respond being caught up in the middle of it. We will also be able to identify that the Almighty Father said, vengeance is mine. So to those who don't know, who are not our brothers and sisters, they will see it, the pain, the suffering, the cataclysmic conditions that are about to occur and unfold or be magnified, for some have already started. And we who are disciplined and set apartness will say, the Almighty Father said he would exact vengeance for those who murdered and caused pain to his children. So vengeance is the response from the Almighty Father to those who would do wrong to his children. And wrath is to those who fight against the ways of set apartness. I want to visit the following as well. Come with me, O Yashar'al. 2 Timothy 2:14 and 15 say, remind them of this, earnestly witnessing before the master, not to wage verbal battles, which is useless to overthrowing of the hearers, Do your utmost to present yourself approved by the Almighty One, a worker who does not need to be ashamed, rightly handling the word of truth. And you might say, well, what does this have to do with thirsty, hungry, and ready? There are so many among us, my brothers and sisters, so many among us that do not exhibit a thirst and a hunger for set apartness. We become satisfied with the short answers, the quick response, the quick replies. We don't seek to be partakers of endless water, as mentioned in John 4th chapter, when Yahusha spoke to the woman at the well. But I say to you, O Yashar'al, end times demand that we know the importance of water, food, and refuge. For in all the chaos and civil unrest, the wars, diseases, and all that's about to occur and that have begun, and fulfilling promises that the Almighty Father have, we will learn not to take water for granted, nor food for granted. We will know the importance of refuge. Refuge requires us to discern where the Almighty Father wants us to be. Where would He have us to be? When to move. Refuge for some is to go to the grave and sleep until resurrection. Consider the importance of worshiping and obeying the Almighty Father, being thirsty, hungry, and ready to discern what He is saying to us individually and collectively. When it comes to worship, my brothers and sisters, if we're not thirsty and hungry enough, we'll find ourselves willing to give ourselves to the wrong person. Consider what happened in the following passage. Genesis 47:19 states this: Why should we die before your eyes, both we and our land? Buy us in our land for bread, and let us in our land be servants of Pharaoh, and give us seed, and let us live and not die, and let the land not lie waste. My brothers and sisters, conditions were dire during this time. It was a time of extreme famine, time of drought. It was a time when those that was in the presence of Yosef had sold everything that they had to buy food, to be in the midst of land that's thriving once it came back with that hope. But the main thing is they were hungry. And I say to you, O Yashar'al, in that hunger, they were willing to turn themselves over into slavery. Hear these words, O Yashar'al. The hunger, the famine that's coming, the food shortages that's coming, the things that are coming before our very eyes in these end times, the wicked one knows that by the manipulation of food, it can cause one to be weak and willing to worship the person who has food, who have food. My brothers and sisters, whatsoever state we find ourselves in these current times, let us thirst and hunger after righteousness. Let us have a ready mind to respond and endure the conditions that unfold before us. And let us not give ourselves over to the wicked one. There will be those that are not set apart that will succumb to the mark of the beast, that will be willing to worship him. But the true children of Yashar'al will face the things to protect them. No one will get this mark that is set apart accidentally, or I didn't know any better. So prepare to have the strength to endure if you're faced with life or death situations. Do not seek to gain your life in these bodies. Seek to yield and worship and pursue the ways of the Almighty Father, worship and obey him, and witness the outcome that lies ahead. My brothers and sisters, come with me as I read these words. Drought and famine can lead to wickedness, but know this, O Yashar'al. Come with me to 2 Corinthians 12:9 and hear these words. He said to me, my favor is sufficient for you, for my power is perfected in weakness. Most gladly then I shall rather boast in my weakness, so that the power of Messiah rests on me. Many don't realize the discipline of the Almighty Father sometimes causes us and will cause us to become physically weak. And as we become weak, we will cry out, Abba Yahuah, like never before. And we will witness those rise up with the strength and power of the Spirit of Yahuwah's word, the power of Messiah, Yahusha. Watch as the process proved to be true during these end times. But be thirsty, be hungry. Let us establish a ready mind. Let us know how to examine and vet and determine what is indeed of Yahuwah and what is not. Shaul said in his weakness, he discovered the strength and power of Yahuwah. I want us to remember what was said in Numbers 20th chapter, verse 5 through 11. Numbers chapter 20, verse 5 through 11. It reads as follows, and why have you brought us up out of Mizraim? These are the people talking to Moshe or Musha, or some will say Moses. To bring us to this evil place, not a place of grain or figs or vines or pomegranates, and there's no water to drink. No water to drink. Then Moshe and Aaron went from the presence of the assembly to the door of the tent of appointment. And they fell on their faces, and the esteem of Yahuwah appeared to them. And Yahuwah spoke to Moshe, saying, take the rod and assemble the congregation, you and your brother Aaron, and you shall speak to the rock before their eyes, and it shall give its water. And you shall bring water for them out of the rock, and give drink to the congregation and their livestock. And Moshe took the rod from before Yahuwah as he commanded him. And Moshe and Aaron assembled the assembly before the rock. And he said to them, hear now, ye rebels, shall we bring water for you out of this rock? Then Moshe lifted up his hand and struck the rock twice with his rod. And much water came out, and the congregation and their livestock drank. Literal water. Water is one of the most highly needed things for us to physically live. And so in spite of what man has done in polluting the waterways, adding different chemicals to our waters for various reasons, it is by the hand and the might in the word of the Almighty Father that we receive the water we need. And in Amos, it talks about in some places where he made it to rain, and some places he did not make it to rain. Drought is coming, O Yashar'al, greater than what it is in the places that we know of today. But let us trust that the Almighty Father will produce the water that is necessary for his children to fulfill what is required, what is expected. My brothers and sisters, I search for those that are thirsty and hungry. For those that are thirsty and hungry exhibits the fruit of a seeker, one who seeks what is righteous, what is set apart, one who seeks the ways of the Almighty Father. I search for them, and I know it's not about me, but that's my thirst, that's my hunger. As the word of Yahuwah overflows within me to share, to present the things that he has brought to my mind, to my attention, that I have brought to your attention. I seek those that are hungry and thirsty, who want to experience that endless water that Yahusha spoke of. For in those, we will come together in unity. We will come together and magnify the name of the Almighty Father Yahuah through Yahusha HaMashiach, through his word, as a result of his word. John 12:32 tells us, as John quotes Yahusha saying, if I be lifted up, I'll draw all men to myself. Come with me. Let's visit. Sure, there's a need for literal bread, but there's also spiritual bread. Hear these words, O Yashar'al. Matthew 4:4 says, but he answered said, it has been written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that comes from the mouth of Yahuah. Many of us are facing different ailments, sicknesses. Some of us not so much as others, or have loved ones. Each day, my brothers and sisters, I hold on to Deuteronomy 8:3, and Matthew 4:4 confirms it, which talks about man does not live by bread alone, but every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of Yahuah. Are we hungry, thirsty for the word of Yahuah? Do we seek to discern? Are we aware that each breath we take is by the word of the Almighty Father, finding favor, finding life, physical life, and spiritual life? Yashar'al, be thirsty, be hungry, be ready, ask questions and more questions, vet, examine, for the scriptures instruct us to. For in studying the scriptures, hungry and thirsty with a ready mind, we will witness the Spirit of the Almighty Father that comes to us in Yahusha's name as our teacher, as our helper, as John 14:26 speak of. Bring understanding to the things we must learn to grow mature, to grow strong. Yashar'al, O Yashar'al. Let me read John 6:32-35. Therefore Yahusha said to them, truly, truly, I say unto you, Moshe did not give you the bread out of the heaven, but my Father gives you the true bread out of the heaven. For the bread of the Almighty One is he who comes down out of the heaven and gives life to the world. So they said to him, Master, give us this bread always. And Yahusha said to him, I am the bread of life. He who comes to me shall not get hungry at all, and he who believes in me shall not get thirsty at all. Yashar'al, Yashar'al. Many struggle not understanding what this means. But the endless water, the endless word that stirs within our spirit, brings understanding that when we focus on the Almighty Father being thirsty and hungry, we will see that he will always, to those who obey him, to those who seek to worship and obey him, he will always provide the things that will satisfy our thirst and hunger beyond the physical. You see, the physical is temporal. It is that spirit of a man that lives forever. It is our inward man that will dwell with him forever. Those who are a part of the set-apart family of Yashar'al. Come with me as I read Matthew 16:24-27. For it reads, Then Yahusha said to his taught ones, If anyone wishes to come after me, let him deny himself, take up his stake and follow me. For whoever wishes to save his life shall lose it, and whoever loses his life for my sake shall find it. For what is a man profit if he gains all the world and loses his own life? And what shall a man give in exchange for his life? For the son of Adam is going to come in the esteem of his Father with his messengers, and then he shall reward each according to his works. Yashar'al, O Yashar'al, what life are we giving priority? The function in these earthen vessels, or a living spirit managing this earthen vessel, a living spirit that brings into captivity the things that fight against set apartness and release the things that are righteous. Yashar'al, O Yashar'al, are the people that you know, are they thirsty? Are they hungry? Do they seek to truly understand? The days are coming, O Yashar'al. The days are here. Well, we must learn to discern the life in the scriptures. And I say that often. For we will find that the Almighty Father will work in us and through us, one towards another. We will learn what that means, O Yashar'al. Do not be weary. Trust and believe. I know that there are so many different teachings, so many distractions out there, my brothers and sisters, that it makes it difficult to discern what's really true. It makes it difficult, all too often, to determine which direction to take. But there are indeed chosen leaders, chosen teachers, mature brothers and sisters that present what is indeed set apart. Discerning the voice of the Spirit of Yahuah in Yahusha's name is highly possible, my brothers and sisters. Are you thirsty? Did you stop this video? Didn't want to hear? I'm too redundant, too repetitive? But I tell you, an endless flowing stream moves continuously. Sometimes when we stop and do not endure the message, we may just miss something that made us stronger. Thirst, hunger. Let us be filled with the Spirit by his endless word working and stirring within us. As we study and make his word alive, and as we interact with one another, as he directs and guides us. This is important. What do you expect, O Yashar'al, during these end times? Let me continue. It would be wise to understand the importance of being ready, lest you find yourself left behind when the earthquakes, when the floods, when the tornadoes, when the wars, when the famine, when the things that are prophesied in Scripture begin to occur. Some will be moved to safety. Some of us will not. Some of us will die for Yahusha's name. Some of us will not. Some of us will be transformed when Yahusha's physical return occur. And some of us will not. Make no mistake, Yashar'al, there are things that are unfolding, and there's no escape, save the pathway that the Almighty Father opens for us. And in some cases, it could be death. Many don't like to talk about that. They just want to tell you the things that feel good. But let me read Matthew 24, 42 through 46 as I continue. Watch therefore, for you do not know what hour your master is coming. He said hour. He didn't say you don't know the day. I think some pastors say the day or the hour. But he gives us signs to look for to know that we're close. He said, know this, that if the master of the house had known what hour the thief would come, he would have watched and not allowed his house to be broken into. Because of this, be ready too. Be ready, for the Son of Adam is coming at an hour which you do not expect him. So the hour that you do not expect him. Who then is a trustworthy and wise servant, whom his master set over his household to give them food in season? Blessed is that servant whom his master, having come, shall find so doing. What are we giving one another? Do we share the bread of life, Yahusha, his ways, his teachings, his instructions, his guidance? Are we as iron sharpening iron? Have a discussion on the matter of thirsty, hungry, and ready, O Yashar'al. Discuss these matters. For there are so many that would rather just say, all you got to do is obey the 10 Commandments, his laws and statutes, and you're good. We must pursue the voice of the Spirit of Yahuah sent in Yahusha's name. We must seek to discern and respond as his words, his commandments, his laws and statutes work within us, through us, one towards another. We must demonstrate set apartness. We must demonstrate what righteousness is. We must prepare ourselves, for soon and very soon we will witness the 144,000 emerge. But make no mistake, in Revelation 7 chapter, it says, in a great multitude of many nations, kindreds, and tongues. These are those gathered by the power and might of the Almighty Father Yahuah, gathered together in Yahusha's name by his Spirit, his word, working in us. There will be structure. There will be discipline. We will witness vengeance, and we will witness his wrath. How we respond, O Yashar'al, will make a big difference in the coming days ahead. Do you want to be around someone just saying all you got to do is this or that, who's taking things lightly? Or do you want to be one, as he or she speaks, set apart words well up and flow out to the brother, to the sister, to one another, that we learn from one another? When I say flow out, I'm saying things that build life, things that build better partners, things that reflect the ways of Yahuah. Where do you stand, O Yashar'al? End times are about to reveal those who are cowards, those who have their own personal agenda and egos they're trying to preserve. End time will indeed reveal the pursuers of righteousness. You see, the plan of the Almighty Father will be successful. My brothers and sisters, let us prepare to identify those that are thirsty, hungry, and ready. Let us prepare our minds. Let us demonstrate what thirst and hunger is. Let us seek the elements of the Almighty Father. And I'm not talking about go off. The scriptures tell us about being tossed to and fro. And I'm not talking about going off on all these different books that are absent of righteousness. And I'm not talking about chase after and pursue genealogies. End times are here. We must begin to recognize what we're doing with our time and with whom. And we shall. Soon we will see individuals rise up with power, the power of the Almighty One, executing what they are ordered by him. And it will be an unpleasant experience for the disobedient, as well as for the wicked. Yashar'al, Yashar'al, I ask you, are you my brother? Are you my sister? Why don't we communicate? Why don't we speak to one another, thirsty and hungry, to get to know one another? Pray and watch, for Abba Yahuah has the answer. Pray and watch. Those who will fulfill the final exodus will begin to speak to one another, ask questions, be hungry and thirsty, vet and examine, to make sure it's indeed the workings of the Almighty Father. But this plan will become more clear. Stay tuned, O Yashar'al. Details and processes will become clear to the discerning and the obedient. Do you know what discern means? Ultimate discernment is when the Spirit of Yahusha reveals, make known, uncover. That's the ultimate discernment, not the academic dictionary definition. The ultimate discerning is recognizing the voice of the Almighty Father who comes to us in Yahusha's name. Yes, Yahuah represents Spirit everywhere at all times, the Almighty One, and Yahusha represents His Word that was manifest before us. Physically, walk along with us. His Word that came to us in spirit. For John lets us know that the Almighty Father sent His set-apart Spirit in Yahusha's name. We will learn why this is important. To disregard Yahusha or just say, oh, I believe in Him, and then sit Him to the side and just say, Yah all the time, you may find yourself missing something. Because no man can come to the Father except by the Son. And it is the voice of Yahusha, the Spirit of Yahuwah's Word, that speaks to us, through us, one towards another. And it is out of our worship and obedience, out of the fruit of being thirsty and hungry and receiving, having a ready mind, that we will lift Yahusha up and He will draw all men to Himself, as John 12:32 states. And for us to be drawn to Him is drawn to the word of Yahuah. It's to be drawn to Yahuah. Enough said for this time. Stay tuned, O Yashar'al. Discipline, vengeance, and wrath will be magnified, and we will grow to understand how to respond and what to do. Are you thirsty? Are you hungry? Do you have a ready mind, body, and soul to respond correctly, to affirm and confirm and reaffirm the things that are righteous? Pray and watch, O Yashar'al. Great corrections are coming, and it will put us to the test. Either we seeking to worship and obey He who is the Almighty One, or we are following seducing spirits, wicked influence, the unlearned or undiscerning. Rise up, O Yashar'al. My prayer goes out to we who are the children of Yahuah. Let us grow in discernment, and let us begin to demonstrate the reflection, the actions, the confirmation of end-time prophecies. On that note, I say to you, O Yashar'al, my brother, my sister, my family, Shalum.